This is an image of NCAD from the outside, our college in Thomas Street. NCAD is quite a small college. It's got about 1,500 students. And we're situated in Thomas Street in Dublin, very close to many amenities such as galleries, museums, very well located. And in our college, we also have some very good outward-facing facilities such as the National Irish Visual Arts Library, and we also house one of the best libraries in the UK and Ireland in art. So while we're a small college, we're also extremely large in one sense that we're the largest single-purpose art and design college in the country, housing pathways to 14 different specialisms in undergraduate programs. We're a very connected and outwardly facing institution. Our first year program often uses these connections, especially to the Museum of Modern Art, the Royal Academy, RHA, the museums, the National Museum, Botanic Gardens, various locations throughout the city are used by our students and our staff regularly. So we tend to be very outward facing and enjoy that connectedness as an institution. So 1,500 students, including full-time and part-time, and 14 specialisms. And looking at our structure, we have 4 schools in NCAD. So we have the School of Fine Art, which has painting, print, media, sculpture and expanded practice, ceramics and glass, textiles, art and artifact. And that's for those students who are interested in fine art. We have the School of Design, which caters for fashion design, textile surface design, jewellery and objects, interaction design, product design, graphic design, illustration, and moving image design. We also have a School of Education, which provides for an undergraduate degree, which is a professional degree, and that is where students can come and study both fine art or design and education. And essentially, a student who does this will have a joint honours degree. It's a double degree at the end of this. This takes 4 years and is different to the other degrees, which essentially can be done in 3 years. We also have a School of Visual Culture. Every student in NCAD will study visual culture, and it's called critical cultures within our program. And but we also have a specialist undergraduate degree in visual culture, and that's for students who are particularly interested in curation, in writing, and in cultural activities that are parallel to the practice of art and design. But also our students can, at the end of their first year, decide to do a degree with visual culture. So if they're particularly interested in the discourses surrounding art and design, as well as the practice of art and design, they can join these 2 specialisms together, not quite 50-50 like education, but a slightly less than 50 for visual culture and the rest for their studio practice. So when applying to NCAD, these are the codes for the courses in NCAD. These are the various codes, AD 101 for common entry, and that is the program. If somebody wants to come to NCAD and do their first year where they decide that they want to explore all the possibilities before deciding what they want to do as their specialism. For other people who are keen to apply directly to a specialism, these are the codes for these specialisms: for fashion design, textile surface design and jewellery and objects, product design, interaction design, graphic design, and so on. The way we encourage you to apply for NCAD is, if you know what you want to do and you're very, very certain about it, say for instance it's fashion, we suggest you make your application directly for fashion. However, if you don't know that this is what you want to do and you think I'll do common entry, in order to find out about the various specialisms that are available to you, then you should apply to common entry first. Education is also a common entry application to begin with. Fine art is an application after which you take a choice for one of the various degrees in fine art. So how you should choose, if you say, I want to do fashion and that's your priority, your second choice is probably best to be common entry after that, because at the end of your first year, you will also get a second opportunity to compete for a place. So these are the options in terms of coming into NCAD: to join as a common entry student, deciding that you want to make your choice, or to join as a direct entry student. Students sometimes decide that they want to change their pathway at the end of first year. If you do this, you will be given an opportunity to make an application to rejoin the common entry cohort, or to go in behind them, and then to get into a place in one of the other specialisms. So this is also possible. But we advise you to do what it is you most want to do, and that is a decision between a specialism or coming to make a choice when you arrive. So these are the dates that are very important. The applications have opened on the 5th of November, and they will close on the 1st of February. Those are the CAO applications. The portfolio submission then will open, is open and for submission on February the 11th. It closes at February the 11th at, I think it's 4 p.m. So portfolio results then are issued in March and April in 2022, and CAO offers are issued in August. So the minimum entry requirements. So to get into Art College and NCAD, we emphasize portfolio as the way into NCAD. So you must have 2 H5s in your Leaving Cert, and 4 O6s, ordinary level 6, or H7s at Leaving Cert. And they must include English, Irish, and either a third language, or art, or design, communication, graphics. If you want to apply to product design or interaction design, you also have to have maths. If you're coming through the FETAC, you need 5 distinctions and the full award, so you must stay and complete your award. And if you are applying for product design or interaction design, you will also have to have your Leaving Cert maths. Advanced entry applications are also very welcome. So you might do both of these things depending on what you have already achieved. So these are very welcome and across all areas, and these are through the CAO, and the closing date for these is the 31st of March. So here there is some information, including the application form, previous education and relevant work and your experience, and you'll be asked to submit a mini portfolio of work which is used for shortlisting. The mini portfolio includes 10 images with titles and a short description of what informs your work, 500 words max. The portfolio should be in PDF format, and the shortlisted applicants are invited for interview and asked to bring along their portfolio. And all of this will be available at this link in NCAD's website. So the first year experience. To talk about the experience in NCAD, we have a very inclusive program where you are met with both art and design teachers who work with all students in the first semester. So the first semester in NCAD is interdisciplinary. So everybody who applies, who gets in, no matter whether they're common entry or if they are direct entry into the specialisms, everybody works together. And we think this is a really fantastic foundation for our students, because we know that you learn not just by yourself, but you also learn looking at the work of others and knowing the difference between yourself and other people. We find also that people grow in their knowledge about art and design in their first year. So you may find that there are specialisms in art college that you never even thought of engaging with. And there's people with abilities that are quite different from your own. So it's really, really useful to engage in this open learning at the very start of first year in NCAD. In the second semester then, people will gravitate towards the specialisms that they're interested in. And finally, at the end of first year, you will be in your specialist area. And there's a competition for places for those people who are in the common entry. So the access and entrance into the specialist area is based on the achievement level and also your choice. So we want people to know their choice and to be clear about their choice. And we also say that if you have made a choice and you want to review that choice, you're also encouraged to do that. So basically, we know that the most successful students are those that end up doing the thing they most want to do. And that's what the education in NCAD is all about. But it's a very strong community, NCAD. It's got these 14 specialisms. You grow to learn about all the different specialisms in art and design in your first year in NCAD and get to know other people. And it's a very welcoming environment, a strong community. And we pride ourselves in the way in which our students feel very much a part of NCAD. In NCAD, we also have an access program that is similar to the Here and There. So offering additional academic support for those who may need it, and some small grants for those who may need those. So we run community projects which students can take part in. So this is very much a part of our program as well. Recently added additional years to our 3-year undergraduate programs is our Studio Plus. It's been going now for a few years, and this is where students can step out from the 3 years and do an extra year between year 2 and 3 in Studio Plus or Erasmus, or a combination of both. Studio Plus engages our students in real life outward-facing projects in the design field, and then socially engaged projects in fine art and also micro studios. So it's a year of experiencing your subject and your field closer to its professional practice, and it's being taken up by the majority of our students at this point, and it's proving a very, very successful program. The BA International is where our students can go on Erasmus exchange, either for the full year or for one semester, and you can combine these Studio Plus and Erasmus exchange at the same time. So we really encourage any student who can do this to do so. It really improves their experience in their undergraduate year, and it really advances them in their undergraduate program. Destination and career sectors. There's a huge range of possibilities for art and design students once they leave college. Obviously, there's the most directly practice-related practices of being an exhibiting artist with galleries, or being a designer at a design studio. But many of our students will go into other fields as well. And these are some of the ones that are mentioned here. Project management and design fields, and art and design fields, working in the cultural sector, journalism, teaching, retail, buying, forecasting, consulting. There are so many opportunities. And while you're in NCAD, we encourage our students to discuss and consider all these things while we're in here. So these are the important dates to remember. Today is our open day and the closing date of the 1st of February 2022, and the portfolio submission deadline on the 11th of February 2022. So the portfolio itself. The one thing that I want to emphasize is that the portfolio is, we give a guideline for our portfolios, but we are very open to many different ways of approaching this. The guideline is for those who really want to be guided and prefer having a guide. But for those who want to work with their own ideas, we're also open to that, because there are many different types of people coming to our college, and we know this, and we want to have the door as wide open for everybody who wants to apply. So we have some examples here of portfolios, and I'm going to just run through these to show you. So this first page shows a playful engagement with drawing and making. What we're looking for is deep engagement and the ability to sustain an engagement. So here, excuse me, we have somebody who's interested in fashion and working from very early drawings right through. This is a much more playful in terms of non-traditional media, using photography, interacting with objects, being playful around that. Again, in this portfolio, you see somebody who's happy to use paint, collage, cutouts, making in 3D, using lots and lots of different processes in their work. This is very print-oriented, image-based. Again, 2D, 3D, digital as well. You can see here we have somebody who loves to draw, and I wanted to put together a lot of images that show a huge range and difference in terms of approach, because it's really important to know that when your portfolio is looked at, it'll be looked at by artists and designers for the common entry to see potential, and then also by specialist teams when you apply for the specialisms. So you can see here a lot of design thinking, planning, somebody here who loves to play with different materials and engage with possibilities, not just drawing, but working with materials, design thinking and ideation. Again, somebody who likes fabric and soft materials. So in our first year, everybody is mixed together. So we want to see all these possibilities. It's a really interesting work with 3D. And now also with materials. Obviously somebody who's interested in textiles. And design thinking. Obviously fashion. Fashion is very close to sculpture. And these are more traditional skills. Some very strong drawing in here. Excuse me. And this is very different here to the other ones. So I wanted you to see the range of possibilities. So those are the portfolios that we have to show for you, and a lot of really interesting, nice, detailed drawing and painting in this one. Very intense drawing work here. A nice combination of very playful work evident in this portfolio. And again, very simple use of materials here. Here, obviously, somebody who's interested in fabric and textiles. A very interesting engagement with three-dimensionality and making skills in here. So photography, so very, very playful. And again, no one person is expected to do all of these things, but we're open to all of these things. And so it's a wide ranging possibility. Look at this really interesting work here, using a room, or maybe it's playful and it's using digital technology imposed upon another image. So you'll see some people are quite narrative in their thinking. Other people are much more about materials. And this is quite traditional work. So paint used in a much more expressive way here. Somebody obviously interested in materials and fashion. So these are some of the names of the students whose work is included in this. And that's our presentation. So if there's any questions, we can take some now. I'm sorry that my voice has gone a little bit difficult, but if there's anybody who wants to ask any particular questions through the chat, maybe I can take them. But if that's everything, maybe Fiona or Shane, you might let me know if there's any particular questions. So yes, somebody's asking if you're interested in fashion, would common entry be the best second choice? It is absolutely, because at the end of first year, if you don't get into your first choice and you're in common entry, that is the best second choice, absolutely. So the portfolios are usually, these are submitted online. So they're not being submitted physically. So the work will be done on various different scale sheets, and then they're submitted as images. And I think that the information on that is available online as well. I think that you can find that on our website in detail. Where do students go for BA International? Well, we have the college will have agreements with other colleges. It's kind of a Erasmus exchange is always between colleges. So there's a range of different colleges. And again, you can go to our admissions team who might be able to give more information on the details of that, but there'll be a range of colleges. The presentation should be recorded and available later. We encourage both traditional drawing tools and the use of contemporary experimental processes as well. Sally Noggin for fashion as a portfolio preparation, yeah, very good idea.